Alrighty, a very happy Thursday, and welcome to the TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel. My name is Justin. Today is March the 5th of 2025. I look like a mess here on our show, but we are live from our Facebook page. What's going on, everyone? Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, share it with a friend, and leave comments in the comment section. Get part of the conversations today as we talk about some sports. For those who are watching us on a YouTube channel, please do the same. Like, share, and subscribe. Have those notifications on. So subscription, a like, a comment, a share really helps our channel, right? I can't stress that enough. So please like, share, and subscribe for everything TNC Sports Talk. I know I have been our channel has been lackluster the last couple of days. I'm actually very behind. I'm working on getting caught up. Please bear with me. I'll get into that in a moment, but thank you guys for tuning in. A like, share, and subscribe really would help. Also, a donation to help keep our channel going. If you guys want to talk sports with us, if not, no big deal. Not a worry at all. But thank you guys for tuning in. All right, on today's podcast, we are going to dive a little deeply into Cincinnati Reds. We also got some information about the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. But let's kind of do our due diligence here. I want to thank Riverside for allowing us to have a platform here, on our show. It allows us to stream across multiple platforms, allows us to edit our shows and upload audio, allows us to cover, magic clips and create shorts for you guys. It's been a busy week. I haven't been as active on social media as I would like. And trust me, I would like to be more active. Wasn't here yesterday, something I told you guys earlier this week. As a matter of fact, I wasn't here on Tuesday, and actually came to me by a little bit of a surprise on Tuesday because I mentioned that we had furniture coming in, and my overall goal was to have the furniture delivered and up, and take care of all that by after the program on Tuesday. Well, the furniture came in on Tuesday morning around 10:30 a.m., 11 o'clock, and these were 8, not 1, but 8 massive boxes came in, and we had to just take care of it right then and there. One thing led to another. Noon passed, and then next, 2, and then 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon passed, and I wasn't getting a show done. Got all the furniture done on Tuesday. Had to take the car in yesterday, and um, you know, gosh, uh, it was one thing after another. I couldn't get it onto a live, so I do apologize if you guys were looking for um an episode the last couple days. Everything's up to date, or not up to date, but everything is on audio platforms too. It's just not quite up to date. That's something I'll be working on here later this afternoon, getting everything uploaded, up to date, ready to go, so we could finish off the week strong, get back on social media, get the conversations going, and let's talk some sports. All right. As far as our TNC Sports Talk YouTube channel, all the gaming content that we are kind of describing to you guys here. Just gonna adjust my seat. So here's the deal. I'm behind. I got the games going right now. They're already played all the way up to through today. The Reds actually have a day off according to our franchise mode series. So we're not technically. We just got to get all the episodes up, and so that's going to be another project that I'm working on getting done today. So, just been busy back to back to back the last several days. And it's one thing that leads to another, and I just have been falling behind. So if you're upset with me, I completely understand, but we are going to get, I promise you, up to date and back on track by the end of today. Otherwise, we have a 3-game weekend. We'll have doubleheaders on Saturday, doubleheaders on Sunday for your pure entertainment. And we should have, I'm hoping that's the goal. The goal is hope. The hope is to have all those completed and published before the weekend, because the weekend's busy. Tomorrow night, I'm back out there at the Archville Theater. Be doing back at it for weekend number 2 for Grassroots, presented by Enlightened Studios, written and directed by Terry Chappell II. And if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, or if you guys haven't thought about coming out, please, 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 please come on out. Support the family, support the team. Come out to Archville Theater this weekend. We got 4 showings. One on Friday at 7 p.m. We got on Saturday a 2 p.m. and a 7 p.m. And on Sunday we have a 2 p.m. to wrap up a 2-weekend series. Link is in the description below. You can check out tickettailor.com. It was a wonderful first weekend. Expect to have another great weekend coming up here starting tomorrow. So I'll be out there. Say hi to me. Stop by the photo booth where we also do interviews and check out who is, kind of get people's experience. That's one thing that we want to get a hold of. So that's our busy weekend this weekend. And, it's going to be fun. Baseball season's nearby. But let's get down into business. Okay. It's official. The Cincinnati Bengals will not be tagging Trey Hendrickson. And that means that we have to figure out his replacement. And I'm okay with this. It's something that we've been talking about. We've been we've been okay with dealing since the end of the season, because the future of Trey Hendrickson is not with Cincinnati. We are not financially keeping him. We are not financially supporting him. He's too much. And to be frank with you, it's not an insurance that I would want to keep. With all due respect, I think Trey Hendrickson is a great player. I think he has great potential. I think he could be a great top player anywhere else, but not for the Bengals. There's too much risk biting on Trey Hendrickson that is worth the amount that he wants to get paid. Now, it doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to go out there and get paid. Trey Hendrickson should go out there, and whatever contract he's going to get, he's going to get paid. No questions asked. But it's that risk factor that we saw last year with the injury that took him out the rest of the season, that I was just at the conclusion of, you know what? Let's just cut ties. I know throughout this past several weeks, there's been conversations about franchise tagging him and then trading him, franchise tagging him and keeping him. And for those that are fans of Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals keeping a close relationship, there's just too much damage that's been done. But the Bengals deal with a small issue regarding this. Okay? They have to fill in some gear, some big ships. So, with the Trey Hendrickson finally being gone, this means that the priorities for the 2026 draft have shifted gears. For the dreams of playmaking safety or an elite corner, with the number 10 pick in the upcoming draft, has gone out the window. We really have to scrap that idea. The Bengals must draft the best available defensive lineman to make up the loss of Hendrickson. And the concerning factor that I think I look into when we're kind of figuring all this out, I don't know if we're going to be able to replace him with one guy. I would like to see Hendrickson. I would like to see somebody a combination of guys. And I feel like that's the best way we're going to be able to execute this. I like Shamar Stewart. I think that the Bengals should at least be interested in attacking an option of bringing back Joseph Osai. But I feel like that becomes, a highly likely scenario considering that we're already at the beginning of March. Free agency is, already just begun. And Joseph Osai is another player that should get paid and should have the opportunity to at least see what's out there. But if you're the Bengals, okay, the due diligence of being able to at least throw Joseph Osai an offer, and I'm not talking about a crappy offer. I'm actually talking about a logistic offer that will be competitive to anyone else signing. Then I feel like that's the justice before we head into the draft. My opinion. With Shamar Stewart, Joseph Osai, I feel like keeping at least 2 out of the 3, for me, solidifies a little bit that we can focus our attention somewhere else on. The one thing I don't want to do is rely on the draft to draft players that's going to lead us to the promised lands next year. Okay, we talked about this a little bit last year, and what we came to the conclusion is that the Bengals have to win now. We don't have a 3 to 5 year game plan to sit around and draft and wish upon a star that someone's going to turn out with this organization from an upcoming draft. I'm even surprised that Shamar Stewart had a good season last year. I want to see it again. But I think it's a little bit much to ask that whoever's coming out of the draft, whether it's a defensive lineman or anyone else, to be a top-tier star talent player on our defensive front. It's going to take all 11 guys and then some in order to win, have an efficient defense this year. I just feel that there is a different approach. So how would I approach this? Well, I think it's fair to say I would attack this piece by piece by piece, collecting multiple guys out there. Okay? Just checking this out. Give me a quick moment. People at the front door. Anyways, so for me, how I would handle it, I would take the draft. Yes, and a defensive lineman, if available, should be now in consideration. Instead of focusing on a corner or a safety or even a linebacker, we have to throw in a lineman. But what I'm hoping between now and the middle of April is that we can sit here on our free agent market and try to go after somebody. Now, what does this mean? We don't necessarily have to go out to pick up your best defensive lineman. We can go try to see what's out there available for free agency when it comes down to safeties or corners. And, I know there's been names talked about it where even a guy like Max Crosby is up for consideration. And those are names that for the Bengals, due diligence, they should at least be contacting, having those conversations, even if it's ridiculous. The good news is for the Bengals fans is that the upcoming draft is loaded with defensive line talent. With the Vegas locked in at number 1 and the general consensus being that they will take a quarterback, that leaves us with just 8 teams before the Bengals could pick up a defensive lineman. The 2026 draft class includes 3 different linemen that could all be top 10 picks. An edge rusher, David Bailey, out of Texas Tech. He's predicted to land in the top 5. We got Miami's edge rusher, Ruben Bryant Jr., who's turned heads with his performance at the college football playoffs. And then you also, you're looking out of, there's a good chance that both goes before the Bengals are on the clock in Cincinnati, in the Dreamland, if one of them were to fall down to number 10. Sure. More realistically, an option for the Bengals could be looking at Miami's edge rusher, Akeem Masidor, or Auburn edge rusher, Keldrick Falk, possibly. Credible numbers from coming up from Akeem last season in college. He played opposite of Ruben Bryant Jr. in Miami's defensive line. He logged 12.5 sacks last season, forced 4 fumbles, while tackling 38 solo tackles. Falk didn't put up the great numbers last year, but he's 6'6" frame, or he's a 6'6" frame and NFL ready built. Falk recorded 7 sacks in 2024 before logging just 2 in his last season with the Auburn Tigers. Now, there's options out there. How I would approach it is, let's figure out what the options, what our free agent options are. Like I said, there's a few guys out there that's already been named that we like. And I think that we should at least consider those options. And if we do, it would change the dynamic, just like it does with releasing Trey Hendrickson. It will change the dynamic of how this draft would go. At the end of the day, I don't want to rely on our draft to get us to the Super Bowl next year. I don't have 3 to 5 years to wait. I don't think the Bengals have 3 to 5 years to wait. Joe Burrow ain't going to wait 3 to 5 years. My focus point is winning now. And bringing in a guy like Max Crosby, where you already know what he's capable of, one, takes a little bit off to focus on something else at the draft. And it already brings in a star guy who knows how to win now. But you really don't know what you're bringing in when it comes down to this draft. Alrighty, we're going to change conversations here. Ringside News has released the reason why the WWE took the Undisputed WWE Championship off of Cody Rhodes earlier this year. Speculations has been building. Okay, this is according to ringsidenews.com. This is an article written by Steve Carrier back on March 4th, and I want to share with this as we talk a little bit about wrestling. I don't know if we're going to talk too much about Monday Night Raw. We're supposed to do that Tuesday. Didn't get a chance to do that on Tuesday. But Ringside Cage News had an article sent out about speculations of Cody Rhodes and the reason why he dropped the title. Now, speculations have been building around WrestleMania 42 showdown between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Orton secured a championship opportunity after winning the Elimination Chamber this past Saturday, while Rhodes is now set to challenge Drew McIntyre for the Undisputed WWE Championship this Friday on SmackDown, while recent reports suggest that Cody and Randy is currently the direction WWE is working towards for WrestleMania. and new detail may explain a major decision WWE made months ago. Well, back at the beginning of this year, the first episode of SmackDown, Cody Rhodes defended his Undisputed WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre in a 3 Cages of Hell. It was reportedly done. Drew McIntyre ends up winning the match, and it was reportedly done to allow Rhodes to appear in 2 of the WWE's biggest premium live events during the WrestleMania build. We were also told, it was noted that Rhodes and Orton WrestleMania direction has already been discussed internally long before recent reports began surfacing. At the time, the idea reportedly seemed difficult to pull off because there was no clear storyline to get there. As of last month, the plan moving forward was still said to be Rhodes facing Orton. On WWE's biggest stage, however, the situation still may be fluid. Now the situation could hinge, on the week SmackDown, where Rhodes scheduled to face McIntyre for the title. Rhodes wins the title. He could have a clear path as a championship showdown against Randy Orton at WrestleMania 42. WWE has made plenty of late creative pivots during WrestleMania season in the past, but the reasoning behind Rhodes' loss earlier this year suggested the company may have been laying the groundwork for this direction all along. Okay, so let's have this conversation. I will not retract my statement I made earlier this year. I still think Drew McIntyre winning the WWE Championship, shaking things up on the road to WrestleMania, was best for business. I couldn't tell you what was the direction afterwards. I couldn't tell you who was Drew McIntyre's opponent. What I can tell you was that I liked the incentive, the intuition of changing that storyline up. You took Cody Rhodes off the title. You put the title on someone else, whether Drew wins or he loses, whatever happens, it takes place at WrestleMania. Now, yeah, I agree with this article. It opens Cody Rhodes up for the Royal Rumble. It opens Cody Rhodes up for Elimination Chamber and any other shows leading into WrestleMania, because Cody Rhodes has a gripe. He is fighting for the WWE Championship. And these PLE is already going to get high sales and ticket value. You're promising a top tier star. You're promising we build up on SmackDown, on Raw, whatever show Cody's going to be on. People are going to pay to go see it. People are going to tune in to go see it, and that's what we've watched on SmackDown the last several weeks. What I've seen on SmackDown in the last several weeks has been Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre going beyond. Okay, because whatever Cody Rhodes is you proclaiming that he does, Drew McIntyre is doing the same thing. Both men are showing up to every PLE. Both men are showing up to every SmackDown. Both men are causing havoc and wreaking chaos all over the place. And then you throw in Jacob Fatu every week, every other week to be a part of the mix. And so you have two men. What's the difference between Cody and Drew? I think is realistic. Cody's much bigger. He's going to get more tickets sold. He's going to reach more audience. And he's going to be your built up towards, all right, everyone's going to tune into him, as compared to Drew McIntyre. And we've seen this at the end of last year. It was one thing after another. Now, here's what gets to me. Drew McIntyre, since winning the title, he's not done with Cody. You'd figure that a champion, that he fights and claws, he's had this feud all fall and winter long. You finally win the WWE Championship. You finally overcome Cody Rhodes. And the first thing, and you want to continue trying to sabotage, it clearly indicates to me that Cody Rhodes is, if not the biggest threat to that WWE Championship on SmackDown. So Drew McIntyre, and it fits for a heel character. Drew McIntyre decides that moving forward, he's going to do everything he can to get Cody Rhodes as far away as that WWE Championship as possible. He's going to ruin him and eliminate him from the Royal Rumble. He's going to eliminate him from the Elimination Chamber. He tried to get involved and cost him the triple threat match for the qualifying Elimination Chamber spot. That didn't work. And now Drew McIntyre has backed himself up in the corner because he has to face Cody Rhodes for the title on SmackDown. If this is all a scheme, a directional pivot to see Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, I feel like you've shot itself in the foot. Let's be frank. You don't need a title match to tell me a story between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. The only time I'd put a title on this situation, Cody Rhodes, is that Randy Orton's going to add another title number to his resume. Like 15-time champion, is that what it is? Or 6? Yeah, something like that. 16 maybe, I don't know what number he's at. But that's the only reason why I would linger Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton for the title match. And I feel like it's only that way where Cody Rhodes has to have the title and Randy Orton's trying to go after it. Right now, Randy Orton's at the back end of his career. He's too popular. He's too babyface to try to change heel. I wouldn't change heel. And even if you could, let's say you could magically put Randy Orton as the heel in this storyline or in this feud, it doesn't make sense. And two, he can't stay heel long enough to be able to sell it off. Cody Rhodes is in a much better position to sell himself as a heel character. I feel like they've been lingering it. I guess I wonder why they'd even go this direction. What is your plans for Drew McIntyre heading into WrestleMania? And I understand what's better for business at WrestleMania 42. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes? Sure. Will I see it? Will I buy to watch it? Absolutely. A lot better, a lot more interested than whatever Drew McIntyre has in plan. And that's not to decredit Drew McIntyre. He's a great athlete. He is one of your top heels right now in the WWE. And, I do completely understand. We've seen this last year, right? Where apparently CM Punk and Gunther was supposed to be the WrestleMania headline. And we saw Jey Uso face Gunther because the pop was there. So I get it. This time of year, things change. And as we resemble, and we'll look at it here in the upcoming week or so, as we resemble how WrestleMania is looking with the match card, and we only have 5 matches confirmed, and does this sell extra tickets? And I believe so. I think the only thing that saves the WWE out of all this is that there's extra time available to pivot this story. This isn't happening the week prior. This is happening about a little over a month prior to WrestleMania taking place. And so if you ask me, I like the idea. Do I necessarily like the direction for all parties? Absolutely not. I feel like this is telling Drew McIntyre that he is not good enough to carry the WWE Championship into WrestleMania. that whatever he's done over the last 2 months has not been good enough to get into WrestleMania. There's still so much uncertainty, and we'll have to wait until tomorrow night to find out. And I'm interested to see how it unfolds, because I think when I think of how we could be creative behind Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, I was telling you I could see a triple threat match. I was telling you I could see a fatal four-way match, and that Randy Orton's winning the Elimination Chamber was just a buy-in to get him involved, but it could be a fatal four-way match. If it was me, and we'll go a little bit more at length tomorrow, but if it was me, I would have Cody win so he could face Randy Orton. I would have Jacob Fatu cost Drew McIntyre the championship. And I will, because, one thing that people have yet again forget, because we've moved on from past this, there was no clear identity of who attacked Jacob Fatu last fall. Could it be Drew McIntyre? Very well of a possibility. Could the story angle presume that Jacob Fatu has finally realized and learned who took him out last fall, and ends up taking out Drew McIntyre, ends up discovering that it's Drew McIntyre. Therefore, his attention is on Drew. And that leads up to a WrestleMania match, because they will tear the house down. So, my question is to you, the audience. Please let me know. How do you feel if the WWE transitions and puts the title on Cody Rhodes tomorrow night on SmackDown? How do you feel about the transition from Drew McIntyre being champion over the last 2 months, and now they take the title off of him because they want Cody and Randy at WrestleMania? A match that could be seen at any time. And with, WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia coming up next year, that could be a match for a storyline. Maybe the best out of 3 falls. Who knows? My point is I want to know how you guys feel from that perspective. So let me know down in the comments below. All right. I got to, there is a few things I want to get done. So I wanted to start off yesterday, because I actually started off yesterday. The World Baseball Classics have officially got underway. Australia shut out Chinese Taipei 3-0 in yesterday's game. There's 2 games going on today, late tonight. One's already final. Korea beat Czechia. I can't even pronounce. I apologize. 11-4. That was this morning. Australia takes on Czechia today, later on tonight at 10 p.m. Quick turnaround. This is all for the classic pool play. It would be game 3, I guess. And I wanted to see here the classics. There we go. All right. So I want to see the brackets. Let me see. Score, standing brackets. All right. All right. So here's the pools. It officially starts today. So game 1, that was actually, well, I guess that was today. That was really early in the morning. Yeah. All right. So 2 games have been completed. And because they're playing in different parts of the country, we're seeing game, it takes place last night and actually happens, the day after. All right, so here's in Pool A that begins, I guess, tonight or tomorrow. Hmm. What A is AST time? Australia time? Hmm. All right, so in game one, let's just go to schedule. Let's just go to Pool A. All right, so here's what we have. No, that doesn't even help out. But I'm not. I'm on MLB.com. Sure. All right. In Pool A, we have Canada, Colombia, Cuba, Panama, and Puerto Rico. In Pool B, you have Brazil, Great Britain, Italy, Mexico, and USA. In Pool C, you have Australia, Chinese Taipei, uh, Czechia, Japan, and Korea. I'm going to butcher a lot of these names. In Pool D, you got Dominican Republic, Israel, Netherlands, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Okay. And so over the next week or so, we have a set of series of games that would be played between now and March. I want to say March 11th or March 13th. So far, I think it's March 11th. And the games would be played and they would have their own bracket. It'll come down to the finals on March 17th. So the winners of each bracket will end up facing off of each other. So in Pool A, they're playing in San Juan, Puerto Rico. In Pool B, they're playing at Daikin Park in Houston, Texas. You got Pool C playing in Tokyo Dome. And Pool D is playing at the Lone Depot Park. So, like you said, we've already mentioned all the games that have been completed. So far, only 3 thus far. And let's get down to the schedule. So today, in the States, for today, we have Czechia versus Korea. And that was the final. Korea won 11-4. Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will see Australia versus Czechia in Game 3. We have Japan or USA who plays their first game against, is it Brazil? Yeah. At 8 p.m. It's on Fox, and you have Logan Webb on the mound. On Saturday, USA will take on Great Britain at 8 p.m., and that would also be on Fox. On Sunday, you will take the USA will not play. So Sunday, the USA has a day off. And then on Monday at 8 p.m. on Fox, you have Mexico taking on USA. Then you would have USA taking on Canada on Tuesday. And then that's pretty much it. Your final games are on Wednesday. So, teams. Let's go down to USA. Let's officially meet the staff. And I say this because I want to. I say this because I've waited as long as possible. So here's are your pitchers. You have David Bednar, Griffin Jacks, Mason Miller, Michael Waka, Logan Webb, Paul Skeens, Brady Keller, Matthew Boyd, Garrett Clevenger, Clayton Kershaw, Tariq Skubal, Garrett Whitlock, Ryan Yarborough, Gabe Spear, Nolan McLean, and Clay Holmes. You have Cal Raleigh and Will Smith as your catchers. Infielders, there's Alex Bregman, Ernie Clement, Paul Goldschmidt, Bryce Harper, Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Terang, Bobby Witt Jr. In the outfield, we'll have Ramon Anthony, Byron Buxton, Pete Crow Armstrong, Aaron Judge. The designated hitter is Kyle Schwarber. You got Mark DeRosa as your manager, Michael Young as your bench coach, Freddie Gonzalez as your assistant coach, Brian McCann as your assistant coach, Sean Casey as your hitting coach, Matt Holliday as your hitting coach, Andy Petit as your pitching coach, George Lombard as your first base coach, Dino Bell as your third base coach, and David Ross as your bullpen coach. Look at that. Those are some really big names. It's crazy. You'd almost figure that it's no doubt for the Team USA, from what we're familiar with, to just win. Win automatically, right? So, I mean, prospectively, that's just how I feel. We should win, but it's going to be an interesting notion out there. A couple of Team USA, a couple of exhibition games were played back on Tuesday, March 3rd. I think Colombia, was it Colombia? Is that what it is? Ended up losing to Pittsburgh 7-1. Netherlands lost to or beat Baltimore. Panama lost to the Yankees 11-1. Canada lost to the Blue Jays 10-7. Cuba got shut out by the Royals 4-0. Brazil lost to the Athletics 14-4. Nicaragua lost to the Mets 6-3. Israel shut out Miami 1-0. Italy beat Chicago 9-4. USA crushed San Francisco 15-1. Great Britain beat Milwaukee 7-3. Mexico beat Arizona 6-3. Venezuela lost to the Houston Astros 3-1. Puerto Rico beat Boston 5-1, and Dominican Republic beat Detroit 12-4. My thing is with all this, I think it's great action, but you could clearly see which country has better ball players. Canada beat Philadelphia 5-3 yesterday. Colombia lost to Atlanta 9-1. Netherlands beat Tampa Bay 11-8. Israel lost to the Mets 5-2. Puerto Rico lost to the Twins 6-3. Panama lost to Detroit 2-1. Nicaragua beat the St. Louis Cardinals 2-1. Dominican Republic and the Detroit Tigers tied. Final after 7 innings. Texas beat Brazil 13-2. After 8 innings, the Cincinnati Reds beat Cuba 19-2. We'll talk about that here in a moment. The Dodgers beat Mexico 7-5. The Washington Nationals beat Venezuela 5-1. USA beat Colorado 14-4. The Angels beat Italy 4-3, and the Padres and Great Britain tied. So, not all 30 ball clubs, I don't think got a chance to play. Maybe they did. I'm not really counting here. But I think it's a special moment for a MLB team. They're going through spring training, working on their techniques, to be a part of this World Baseball Classics by playing exhibition games against these teams that will be representing their countries. And I think it's a great sight to see how, how do they match up against each other, and see where these countries need to work on. I mean, I for the Reds, 19-2, it's great for the Reds not only to put up those runs, but to also show Cuba what they're capable of. If you're a country that is facing a team like the Dodgers or the Yankees or like the Padres or even, let's say, the Phillies, you want a realistic look. You don't want to be, it's even if it's embarrassing. I feel like you want yourself to get embarrassed so you could exactly see where you were at among the other team, among your other countries, because this pool's going to start here, if not it's already started because we had a game already, and you're going to be missing out. So I think it's great for those who get those pools who get to play down in um, down in Mexico. There's the pool in San Juan, right? The ones who get to play either in Houston or get to play in Miami. I think that's great. Great for them. It kind of feels sorry for the ones who play in Japan. They didn't really get a chance to have these practices. I'm sure they played Japan's teams and they've gotten a chance to play. But as far as that goes, you know, you got to be excited for World Baseball Classic. We've seen how um, hockey, the world, the hockey Winter Olympics with the hockey teams, both men and women's, how they came out and were supported and they pulled away. And yes, we want that to carry over for the United States. So we're looking at that. But uh, World Baseball Classic, I actually have not been excited for Team USA to honestly give me anything more than what they typically. I don't know. I don't normally follow the World Baseball Classic as much in years past. I'm interested, and maybe it's the time frames. So I'm interested to see how invested I'm going to be tomorrow. Like 5 a.m. Chinese tomorrow is taking on, or Chinese Tapia takes on Japan. 11 a.m. You have Cuba and Panama. Both games FS1, FS2. Netherlands and Venezuela on Tubi at noon. Then you have Mexico and Great Britain going on FS1 at 1. At 6 p.m. on FS1, you have Puerto Rico and Colombia. FS2, 7 p.m., Nicaragua and Dominican Republic. And then you have United States versus Brazil at 8. And then you have, on FS2, you have Chinese Tapia take on Czechia. I mean, that is for tomorrow's action. But man, what about those Reds? The Reds beat up on Cuba, who are 0-2 in the third pool. The Reds, well, I guess they're 1-0 on international gameplay. 19-2. Rhett Lauder continues dominating spring in his second start. Great for Rhett Lauder. Rhett Lauder went out there and pitched 3 innings. He gave up 2 hits, not allowed a single run, but struck out 3 batters. Graham Ashcraft was the only pitcher who gave up 2 runs on Tuesday's performance. He gave up 2 runs in an inning, gave up 2 hits, walked 1 batter, was being able to muster through. And we saw Brock Burke out there, Luis May, Chase Petty. All good stuff, all good stuff. We had Noel V. Marte hit a home run in the 3rd inning. We also had Sal Stewart hit a home run in the 4th inning. And then we had J.J. Bleday hitting a home run in the 8th inning to drive in some runs early on. We got a chance to see Friedel, McClain, Cruz all going up against the Cuba team. So that was a fun experience to watch and to head and to support. I almost forgot that game kind of went on, so I did kind of bypass all of that. Game's about to start here for Grapefruit League. We haven't really paid a whole lot of attention, but we should heading into the regular season. Today, the Dodgers are taking on the Reds at Goodyear Ballpark in Goodyear, Arizona. The Reds will be home. First pitch, 3:05. Jose Franco will be on the mound for the Red Legs, taking on left-handed pitcher Cole Irvin. Irvin, who has an ERA of 3.0 with 2 strikeouts today. We have the Reds starting lineup presented here, thanks to MLB.com. All lineups and informations are subject to change. Leading things off, batting first in center field is TJ Friedl. Matt McClain at second base. He'll be batting second. Ellie De La Cruz batting third at shortstop. Nathaniel Lowe batting fourth at the designated hitter. At first base, batting fifth is Spencer Steele. Will Benson out there in left field, batting sixth. Batting seventh is right fielder J.J. Bleday. Christian Encarnacion Strand is in that lineup today, batting eighth and at playing third base. And Jose Trevino will do the catching, batting ninth. You can check out today's game. You can watch it on the Reds ESPN, or Dodgers Sportsnet, LA ESPN. You can also listen to the Reds WSAI 1360. I like that because I end up watching it. Alrighty, so a trade in the Reds organization took place yesterday as we see our utility left fielder Tyler Callahan, who got shipped off to the Pirates in a trade for a relief pitcher. Pittsburgh Pirates aren't done making offseason moves. Still looking good to get better with just 3 weeks before opening day. Pirates acquired Cincinnati's prospect Tyler Callahan in a trade, and they sent right-hander relief pitcher Kyle Nicholas yesterday in a deal. It's an interesting trade between these two teams. Nicholas looked like an important part of the Pirates' bullpen heading into the 2026 season, but instead he'll pitch for the division rival this year. Callahan will look to earn his first real chance at the major leagues. The Pirates try to end their decade-long absence from the playoffs. Callahan has played numerous positions throughout his time in the minor leagues, making himself a utility option for the Pirates, and if they need that. He's featured mostly in the infield specifically, but at both corners infield spots and left field too, which provides depth for the Pirates. Callahan's had 262 starts, 270 appearances at second base, 61 starts at third, 30 starts as a DH, 22 starts in left field, and 13 starts at first base. Callahan is he only played 4 games with the Reds last season, started 3 in left field where he broke his forearm after colliding into the left field wall after making a play in a foul catch territory. He did not play the rest of the season, but he showed in that instance great dedication to making the play, even with risk. The Pirates went to add a left-handed power bat this offseason, signing free agents Ryan O'Hearn and traded for Tampa Bay Rays Brandon Lowe. Trying to see if there's anything on our relief pitcher. Not really much. Look, I think it's a great opportunity for Tyler Callahan. You know, we got J.J. Bleday, we got Spencer Steer, Noelvi Marte, Will Benson. And I mean, our outfield's pretty stacked. And, you know, we got Blake Dunn, Garrett Hampson. I don't know what he's going to happen after spring training. But overall, our outfield position's pretty stacked. I feel like we have a different direction in our infield. And you know, you put Callahan out. You know, the Reds notorious for pitching. We can never use enough pitching. But you go put Callahan in a team where he's going to be fighting either for a starting position, even come opening day, or he's going to be fighting for an opportunity to be on the utility guy off the bench. So wish him the best of luck. I'm excited to see Tyler Callahan. As a matter of fact, the Pirates are our second series of the season following the Red Sox. So I would love to see Callahan make the opening day roster. I'd love to see him on that roster in that series and go up against him and see what type of success he's had. It's been interesting to see some of these trades. Last year getting Key Brian Hayes. I'm not used to seeing division rivalry trades take place a lot. So, but really good deal. All right, last story of the day. Not so great news. I hate to kill everyone's vibe here on a Thursday, but it matches the rain, matches the gloominess that has been here lurking this entire year. But Hunter Green's injury could be hidden blessing for the Reds, a silver lining in the dark. This article here is on the blog Red Machine. You could check it out, written by Steven Perello. And basically, it's the big question. It comes out of if only Hunter Green could stay healthy. Fans thought he'd be motivated by the incessant off-season trade rumors to reach even greater heights in 2026. If only he could stay healthy, it seems to be in a serious peril. And this basically, Green's feeling stiffness in his right elbow. He's undergoing an MRI, going for a consult with Tommy John specialist, Dr. Neil Iatrich. Is it really a good sign? I'll tell you that. For the most teams, losing the ace Green caliber is extended period of time would be death kneeling. While the Reds aren't jumping with joy and developing them, I mean, positions open up for the other options that we have. I mean, let's look at the rest of the schedule, our upcoming games. We have the Royals coming up here on Saturday, the Giants on Sunday, and the Dodgers. Well, you have the Dodgers today, the Giants coming up tomorrow, and the Royals coming up on Saturday. Over the last since starting on spring training, where we are 5-5, I believe, right? Or 5-4. But this isn't really a great sign. I'm actually very nervous to see what it happens. Terrible timing. This is an ace. And, we don't, I mean, look, whatever injury he has, let him deal with it. I'm not worried about it. Let him take care of it. If that means it's Tommy John surgery, that means he has to go. That means we're not going to see him this year. Yes, it's a big low blow, and we will prevail. We have Andrew Abbott. We got Brady Singer. We got, Nick Lodolo, who loved to step up in that position. We have other talent. He's not the only star talent that we have. Andrew Abbott was, working on promotions and much more. So if this injury is significant, take care of it now. We're in the midst of spring training. We can focus on who we have next coming up. Chase Burns, Rhett Lauder, Brandon Williamson. Yeah, I will love these guys to maybe start sometime in the minor leagues. But, hey, I can see Rhett Lauder coming up. But we got to take care of first. So that is all the time I have for you guys today. We'll come back tomorrow on a Friday wrap-up, get you guys ready for the weekend, get you guys ready for Friday Night SmackDown, get you caught up with the Cincinnati Bearcats sports, and much more. You guys stay out there, stay dry, stay safe, stay warm, stay cool wherever you guys are at. And until tomorrow, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.